In 2017, after 20 plus years in Atlanta, I returned to my hometown of Savannah, Georgia. You see, I am fourth generation Gullah Geechee descendant of those enslaved Africans that came to the coast of Georgia in 1748 and dwelled there. I received some disheartening news. There were no markers to depict the bondage and struggle of those that dwelled in Savannah for 116 years, anywhere in downtown. So I decided to take action. I wanted to take on the Confederate monuments and the American Revolutionary monuments that were all named from men. And so I chose John C. Calhoun, United States Vice President, statesman from South Carolina, brilliant orator as an attorney, was the #1 pro-slavery advocate in the nation, and he was on top of my ancestors. This place should now have a new name, and it should be a sacred place in space. Now, I knew this was not going to be an easy task. You see, the state of Georgia has a law that you cannot remove Confederate monuments or markers or statues throughout the entire state. I want to share with you that the city of Savannah is a place that has sacred places and spaces, but not for the African American community. So, as a paralegal, I'm sitting in the middle of the night, scrolling through the process for renaming public squares. And I come across parks, I come across streets, but I don't see squares. I only see other. I'm going to apply under other. I got this. The game is on. The application process calls for you to get 51% of all the neighbors who live around the square to consent to a petition signed and accepted by the city of Savannah in order to change the name of a square. Mind you, this is multi-million-dollar homeowners, and they have stately homes. And so, in my years of social justice and human rights, I knew that if you want to get a cup of justice, you got to go and get you some people. I gathered people on a national level from the National Truth-Telling Project, where I was a policy fellow, and local retirees in education, students, artists that we call artivists. All of the students from the elementary schools did art canvassing, fabulous. We gathered people so that we could change this name. We knew that we were going to have opposition for sure. However, we knew that we needed to get brave neighbors from around the squares to take the task on of going door by door to get the 51% of signatures required by the city from the homeowners around the square. It was absolutely too dangerous for people of color like me to go knock on those doors. I want you to know we also got threats. They would say to me downtown as I did my tours, "Don't you change that Calhoun Square. He's one of my descendants, you hear?" I was never, ever afraid. And so we met with the city officials, and we began to gather people pushing towards that cup of justice. It took 3.5 years of going back and forth with the city officials. And then one day, we got a little bit of light. We got some information. 3 brave city councilwomen, Alicia Blakely, Keisha Gibson Carter, and Bernetta Bryant Lanier, said, "Sister Pat, you don't have to worry about the 51%. All you have to do is go downtown and get 4 of your city council folk to put your item on the agenda." We were livid. "What do you mean? We've wasted 3.5 years when we could have just gone through that process? Well, we set the meeting up. And the morning of the meeting in October 2022, I took a detour from City Hall and I went to the barber shop. I did not have an appointment. There were 5 people there in line. I asked every last one of them, may I have your spot? May I have your spot? They all said yes, because I told them I was going downtown to have a meeting with the mayor about that square. They said, go get them, Pat, and gave me their spot. I get in a chair, and I tell the barber, shave all of my hair off. He said, no, Sister Pat. I said, yes. I don't have time for hair right now. I am in warrior mode. And so we began to meet with the city officials. I want to share that as we met with the city officials, we were getting restless. We kept telling our coalition, you have to have patience, so it's real, you do get restless. But I want to share with you that in that meeting, October 2022, I said something there that changed like a shift. I said, we have until December 31st to be with you downtown. We've been doing this for 3.5 years. We've got on the actual agenda, but I want to tell you that if we don't get some action by the 31st of December, we are going to turn this movement over to a new generation of young people who are getting ready to descend on your city from across the nation and do civil disobedience in all 23 of your squares. I also shared with them that I'm in the tourism business, so far be it for me to bite the hand that feeds you, but I'm going to join the movement to call for an economic boycott of tourism in Savannah until we do this project correctly. You could hear a pin drop in the room. Well, we received the vote, and it was 9-0 unanimously just before the election. Wait now, there's a twist. Our mayor and city manager decided to make it an unnamed square and create a new process that opened the door for all citizens to apply names so that they can decide who the square should be named in honor of. I told my coalition to rename Calhoun Square to be patient. We went through the process and 309 applicants submitted. Out of that, 18 were selected, and so was our Susie King Taylor. Susie King Taylor, born in 1848, was one of America's sheroes. She was the first African-American woman to join the Union side as a nurse, and Susie King Taylor started schools in downtown Savannah, both in slavery and after slavery. We went through that process and had to go to 2 more department meetings, and both of them also unanimously chose Susie King Taylor. I want to share with you that we were able to get it done because the meeting showed that Susie King Taylor was the beloved choice. We had won. You see, I really do believe what Dr. King referenced as the moral arc of the universe. I really do believe it bends toward justice. You just have to go out and get you some people. And when you gather them all, go on out there and make yourself some good trouble. Thank you.